the word's out on Gaethje, right? I mean, there was a secret there for a while, which some of you may disagree with and think, oh, no, I love Gaethje from the beginning, but it's really not true. You know, Gaethje busted into the UFC. He had that incredible fight with Michael Johnson, catapults him. I mean, everything was right. The punches, the kicks, the attitude, the nerves, cockiness, interview. I mean, it's perfect. A star was born. Goes right into the Ultimate Fighter. I don't think he's been less than a main event since. I'd have to go check that, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. I mean, the guy really became a star. But the reason I tell you, some of you were late to the party. I wasn't. He was at the World Series of Fighting. I was a commentator there, so I followed him around. I watched his fights. I mean, that guy was doing in the World Series of Fighting, just by example, he was doing the same thing that he's doing in the UFC where everybody loves him. He just wasn't discovered yet. He's just one of those guys. So the verdict's in, right? Complete stud, Justin Gaethje. But a lot of you don't know, same's true with James Vick. You guys just haven't seen him in the same light. And one thing that happens in fighting, it's perception. It's so much perception. The more popular fighter, we instantly believe is the better fighter. If you've heard of one guy, you've certainly heard of Justin Gaethje. If you haven't heard of James Vick, then you're dismissing the fight. That's just a natural, that's normal, but you're guilty of it. Admit it, you guys are guilty of it. I'm telling you now, James Vick is a hammer. He's the same kind of hammer that Justin Gaethje was before you guys knew who Justin Gaethje was. It's a really interesting fight, and it also comes down to who wants it more. And it's very hard to imagine when you watch Justin Gaethje that anybody could want it more than he does, right? The guy exemplifies heart. There is also something to be said for a guy who has been there and done that and climbed the mountain and been given the opportunities, that it's very hard to still want it the same. It's just hard. And I'm not saying Justin's guilty of that. I'm just offering to you as a suggestion. When you look at a guy like Vick, who's been pissed off and hungry and demanding these opportunities, calling out guys like Kevin Lee, calling out guys like Nate Diaz, calling out guys like Eddie Alvarez, this is a guy that wants it. Nobody calls those guys out. It wasn't just for attention. It wasn't just a headline-seeking deal. James Vick wanted these guys. I don't know what his record is, but I think he's won 6 of his last 7. If I'm wrong, it's 5 of his last 6, but you get the point. Some of you probably didn't even know that. Guy's been crushing people, but he hasn't been doing it in co-main events and main event spots. So it's a big opportunity. I don't know that I have an opinion on the match yet. I love the way they both punch. I love the way they both kick. I know Justin Gaethje can go 25 minutes. I don't know that Vick can. I'm not challenging that he can. I'm saying I don't know it because I haven't seen it yet. It's an intangible, but it matters. I know Justin Gaethje can deal with main event pressure. I don't know that he's ever fought less than a main event. I don't know about that. Something tells me he might have fought a co-main against Eddie Alvarez. I'd have to go back and look. Vick's never been in that spot. Is he going to rise to that occasion? Probably. Is he going to wilt in that occasion? It's happened before. All I'm offering you, take me at my word, and it's not even going to cost you anything. You guys are going to see it for free, but I do want to sell you on this. I want to sell you on this fight because Vick deserves this. James Vick deserves for you guys to watch him go out there and perform. And whatever happens, happens. I don't know who's going to win. But don't get lost in the forest that this isn't a great fight just because it's a big name versus a name perhaps you don't recognize.